Over here is the 2024 Toyota Proace City facelift, and it brings me down to a very big question. Did they turn it into a Supra van? That's right, you all heard me, not super van, Supra van. Because look at what they did to the front. It's almost like the Toyota CHR, which in turn was, for me, I saw the front and the first thing that came to my mind was Toyota Supra of the 90s. Now, having the simple design in the front is quite interesting because it coincides with the release of the Fiat Doblo, which also has a simple front, and the air intake is down there. In fact, it should be noted, the Toyota Proace is directly related to the Stellantis group vans. So you're looking at the Peugeot partner, the Citroen Berlingo. But then there's one advantage you have with this Toyota. Unquestionable lengthy warranty. This may not be a Toyota engine, but it does have the Toyota warranty. But there's just a little problem. This bonnet is so heavy. I don't know if it's just me, but something has improved about the door handle. It's very pleasant to hold on to. I like it. The door sound, it's fluffy, just like other Stellantis group vans. But every time I close the door, the wing mirrors, they shake a lot for a nanosecond. Now, when it came to Toyota and utility vehicles in the EU market, Toyota had big problems. They just could never sell a utility vehicle with consistency. They tried something in the 90s. It was meant to pick a fight with the Volkswagen Transporter. It was basically a van with a mid-engine, so cabin over the wheel. That didn't work out. It didn't work out well. Then they released something where the engine's at the front and it powers the front wheels or the back wheels, if I recall. Even that was a flop because the other competitors had interesting choices. Volkswagen Transporter, Mercedes Vito, the likes. Now, when it came to the small van question, it was a nightmare for Toyota. They just could never come up with something to satisfy the EU market. So this is why they approached Stellantis for help. This collaboration between Toyota and Stellantis, which was previously known as the PSA Group, is not entirely new. This happened since the 2000s with the micro cars like the Toyota Aygo, the Peugeot 108, if I'm correct, and then also the Citroen C1. Primary competitors to the Proace City are the likes of the Renault Kangoo and the Volkswagen Caddy. There are obviously more competitors, but we have to check this out right now. Now, this particular Toyota Proace City costs 29,000 euros, and this is going to be very ideal as a company vehicle. Now, judging by this part over here, it's optional to have this side also open. You get a little latch to open this extra bit of storage. This is a very smart feature. But then something a bit interesting is that the same latch is also on this side. And I think this is for right side markets where the steering wheel is on the right side. Now, side rear doors. This is interesting. The entrance is a bit on the narrow side, I've noticed, and that's also particularly because the cabin also intrudes a little bit into the cargo area. Now, there's also some very smart feature right here. Let's check this out. The strap that's in the corner right there, but the position of it forces you to compress against the B-pillar. But then you get used to it. Now, as the seat is down, you get additional space right here. This is really good. But I seem to recall that on the Renault Kangoo, you get even more space. But I seem to recall that in the Renault Kangoo, the divider literally opens. It can open until here even. Check out the interior of the Toyota Proace City. So another improvement would be the steering wheel. They livened it up a little bit, and I like the little detail they added. So now it has this sharp edge to it, which is rather interesting. This is good. And steering adjustment is decent. So I can move it up, down, in and out, but the inmost setting is only this much, which is, again, selective. It's very debatable. Now, the seating adjustment is manual. No need for electric seating adjustments, honestly. It's fine, which is good. I can move the seats front and backwards, but when moving it front and back, I feel like my wrist has to literally compress into the seat. So it can be uncomfortable. I have to like struggle almost. All right. Now, the gear stick is very similar to PSA group cars. Like for the rest, the components are exactly the same. Even the infotainment system is the same, and you don't even get a sat-nav navigation. You have to install an application for it. And as for the ceiling, there's additional storage space just above. And you get some lighting controls up here, which is good, but no sunglasses holder. Although, do you need sunglasses holders for this kind of van? You be the judge. We will talk about the infotainment system in a moment, but I first want to cover other practicality solutions. Finally, they made use of this area because I seem to recall in the pre-facelift version, this whole area would be just a little storage space which would fit your shot glass. But it was intended for an option of having traction control in different environments. So over here you get physical buttons for your climate control, which is really good because given that this is a PSA group van, I seem to recall they moved a lot of things to the infotainment system, but thank goodness there is thank goodness there's climate control over here. That's good. You get electric parking brakes. That's decent. And there's additional storage space over there. But there's no storage space underneath despite this plastic lining. I don't get what's the purpose of it. I think it was intended for additional options. And you want to know something funny? I just spotted a 12-volt socket isolated underneath down there. What is going on over here? And there's no armrest or anything. Now the mirror controls and the window buttons are exactly the same as in Stellantis cars. No surprises over there. And there's no additional storage space. And there's a set of buttons over here that has no purpose at all. It's intended for any additional option you choose. And there's one thing to remark. There's no cup holder at the center over here. No cup holder anywhere. The cup holders are on both sides, there and there. And there's additional storage space over here. Oh. So when it comes to practicality, they offer a lot of space, but when it comes to cup holders, nothing. And there's additional space above right here, which okay, which you have to get used to. I mean, they are like shut and everything. You need to struggle to open them. Right. The door bin is a plus. It can fit a big bottle in there. Now, as suspected, the infotainment system itself is directly from Stellantis. It looks exactly the same as what I've seen in a Peugeot, but it's not a problem. I mean, honestly, it gets the job done, all right. You don't get any map, as I mentioned earlier, but again, it is optional. I recommend you get the map feature because that's my favorite feature. And it can be very handy. But then if you're getting this as a company vehicle and you really need to budget because you're going to buy a fleet of this, why not? I can understand. Now, when it comes to the instrument cluster, they've altogether abandoned the classic ones where you have the needles. Now you just have it all digital. So here's my conclusion of the Toyota Proace City. For a price of 29,000 euros, this Toyota Proace City van is one of the most interesting choice, primarily because of the lengthy Toyota warranty. They have a lengthy reputation for it, and they are no nonsense, easy to get through, easy to live with. But then on the other hand, I can't really spot much advantage. Like in terms of desirability, well, when you look at the segment, you're not entirely going to look at desirability.